What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another New York Giants video. And in this video, I'm going to dive into the fourth NFL draft prospect film breakdown I have. And that's going to be Alabama offensive tackle Evan Neal, a player that a lot of Giants fans are very excited about, as you should be. I'm excited about this draft prospect as well. But before I get more into him, folks, make sure to go check us out on all of our social media platforms on Instagram, Twitter, our YouTube channel at Big Blue Avenue. We have 3 previous evaluations up so far on Georgia running back James Cook, Notre Dame safety Kyle Hamilton, and Mississippi State offensive tackle Charles Cross. So now, over the weekend, I'm going to get one up on Evan Neal, and then we'll get one up on Ickey as well in the coming days. But Evan Neal is a prospect that can go anywhere within the first top 5 picks, right? So we're looking at the draft order, and Jacksonville Jaguars pick first, followed by Detroit, then Houston, then the Jets, and then the Giants. So Jacksonville, they signed Cam Robinson. People are wondering what they'll do. They signed Brandon Scherff in free agency. Detroit, the offensive line is probably the one strength of their team. They have Taylor Decker as their cornerstone left tackle, and then they have Vaitai on the other side. You look at the Jets, they have Becton. I believe they had Morgan Moses. I'm not sure who they filled that void with now, if he's still there. And then Houston, right? You have Laramie Tunsil. You could easily put Neal on the other side there. It's very important to have 2 good tackles in the National Football League. Great elite tackles are hard to come by, which is why Evan Neal is such a coveted top prospect in this year's draft. He is ranked number 1 among all offensive tackles in this year's draft. Now, his body frame is massive. He's 6'7", weighs in at 337 pounds, and a lot of people are comparing him to Tyron Smith, left tackle of the Dallas Cowboys. And part of that reason why is because the man has excellent technique and he's very experienced. Obviously, when you play for that Alabama offensive line, experience is something that is definitely highly coveted amongst several NFL teams, including the New York Giants, who are looking for a guy like Evan Neal. Now, let's talk about Evan Neal, because a lot of people may not know this, since Evan Neal played left tackle all of last year. So he played 3 years at Bama. In 2019, Evan Neal was a left guard at Alabama. Goes to show you how versatile he is on that offensive line. He played 666 snaps at left guard as a freshman. 2020, predominantly played at right tackle. Very, very interesting, right? 546 snaps were at right tackle in 2020, just 1 at right guard and 22 at left tackle. Again, left guard, right tackle, 2021. Alex Leatherwood enters the draft. Evan Neal moves from right tackle to left tackle. So all 835 of Evan Neal's snaps were at left tackle. For the Alabama Crimson Tide, he started all 15 games. And in 3 years at Alabama, he's given up just 3 sacks. And one concern for the Giants is their pass blocking. This guy nearly had 1,500 pass blocking snaps in college, 1,496. Only allowed 36 pressures. Now, one thing I like about Evan Neal a lot for a guy his size, right? So when you take a frame of a man that's 6 feet 7 inches tall, it's usually hard for him to get low. Well, Evan Neal gets low on every single snap. He has 34-inch arms. Now, his pro day was very recently. He did not run a 40-yard dash. He didn't do a lot of the vitals that some of the other players did. And I think now Evan Neal, that he's gotten a lot quicker, he shedded some weight. He was originally almost up to 360, and it's interesting. He talked about his diet a little bit, and this is the last thing I'll kind of talk about before I get into my film breakdown of Evan Neal. He tries to stay within 3,500 to 4,000 calories a day. And obviously he's scheduled to meet with the Jacksonville Jaguars, which makes me think that either Neal or Hutchinson will be the number 1 overall pick. Just not sure who it will be. I think Jacksonville is probably leading Hutchinson, but you never know what the team needs could be come draft night. Neal also said he has scheduled meetings with the Giants and the Jets. So there are a lot of teams in a fight for Evan Neal. I think Neal will either end up with Jacksonville, Houston, the Jets, or the New York Football Giants. So now I'm going to evaluate Evan Neal and why people are hyping him up to be this potential gold jacket type of offensive lineman, right? We're going to get into a quick film breakdown. So here we are, folks, film breakdown of Evan Neal. We're going to go over a few snaps. We're going to start with his snaps at left tackle. This is against Tennessee, and just goes to show you how insane this man is. He literally doesn't have to do much at all on this play against the Volunteers, and I'm going to start the film here momentarily, but you can see he's lined up here at left tackle. So I have some clips of him at left tackle and some clips at right. He's going up against number 97, who's lined up in the 5-tech position, hand in the dirt. And you see Tennessee is showing blitz towards Evan Neal's side of the line. So here he is in a stance, and the play begins, and you watch, he barely touches this guy. He uses his left hand, and he immediately falls to the ground. So this is just an excellent rep by Evan Neal, almost effortlessly defeats his man, who ends up on his rear end by the end of that play. Now, this second rep right here, this is with Bryce Young at quarterback. This is against the Georgia Bulldogs. And a lot of Giants fans know who is lined up across from him right there. That is Travon Walker, a guy who is rumored to be linked to the New York Football Giants. Obviously, last year the Giants selected Azeez Ojulari, another Georgia Bulldog edge rusher. But here is Neal highlighted in yellow, and here's Travon Walker. In my opinion, Walker is probably the third best edge rusher in the draft behind Hutchinson and Thibodeaux. But as you can see, Walker going up against Evan Neal here. You can see on this play how Neal starts out. And Walker's a tough guy to beat. And this play doesn't look like much, but I want you to really zoom in here to what Walker is trying to do. He is trying to do the little arm bar technique where you put your right arm over the helmet of the tackle and get to the quarterback. So he's trying to do a nice little maneuver on Evan Neal inside. And Neal, what he does, you can see his right hand is leveraging Travon Walker's left arm, so he is unable to get position. And he snatches his arm down. He's not holding it. Otherwise, he'll be called for a penalty. The official is right here in the background. Not that he can see this very easily, but look what he does to keep Walker away from Bryce Young. So you got frozen there for a second. There we go. And again, this is in slow motion. And watch what he's doing. He puts that arm down to slow down Walker's momentum. Gets nowhere near Bryce Young. There it is again. And job well done there by Evan Neal. That was the second clip. Now, here we're going to dive into a block at the second level. So Evan Neal does a good job helping out his left guard, number 70, to start this play. Alabama is in a shotgun formation with, you see the tight end here and the back. A lot of defenses like to run stunt blitzes. And if you're a Giants fan, you would know this because Will Hernandez does not know how to pick up a stunt blitz. Hence why he's no longer on the New York Football Giants, in addition to several other offensive linemen that struggle to pick up blitzes. So here's Neal. He does a nice combo block, and you see the ball is being handed off to the rack, number 10 back here. And Neal does a good job of recognizing this linebacker here at that second level and takes him out of the play. You'll see it right here. You see this arrow. He's ready to shoot the gap. The right guard, you can't guarantee he's going to make that play. So, or actually, I believe this might be the center. I'm not sure. But anyway, so you see this linebacker here. He's ready to shoot the gap and make the tackle in the backfield. But Neal does an outstanding job of recognizing that. Trust his partner there, the left guard, to take his man, and he makes this nice block at the second level. And look at that green for the running back. So this clip's getting a little past us here, but I want to show this clip. So now we're moving on to Evan Neal at right tackle. And this clip is against LSU. This is a beautiful hit here by Evan Neal. I really like what he does on this play. Mac Jones, this was a 2020 game. Mac Jones is the quarterback. So Jones does a nice fake little handoff to, actually, I think he does hand it off to Najee Harris. he play fakes it. And look at Evan Neal right here. Nobody around. So, and this linebacker is spying Mac Jones. And he's also trying to play to see what Devontae Smith is going to do over here and what John Mechie is going to do. So now Jones is in an interesting position because he has nobody near him. But what is Evan Neal going to do with all that open space and no bodies around him? Well, he picks a guy up, takes him to the ground. I mean, that is just beautiful. And here's another clip with him at right tackle. This is against Notre Dame in the college football playoff back in 2020. So Najee Harris in the backfield. And you see here the right guard. That might be Isaiah Foxy. I'm not 100% sure. But you got elite players on this defense like Owusu Karamoa, Drew White, Kyle Hamilton, who's a box safety. And here's Evan Neal helping out his guard. And this is just an outstanding combo block by Evan Neal. Now, Najee Harris doesn't gain many yards on that play, but what Evan Neal does so nicely is that he takes Kurt Hinish out of it, right? See, Kurt Hinish is lined up right here, and he's a pretty good defensive tackle. I believe he entered the NFL draft this year as well. So right guard needs a little help because Hinish is pushing him back into Najee Harris, which is not a good sign. And Drew White is here to clean up the trash just in case Harris gets past him. So what Neal does, the combo block, it cuts the lane off from Drew White. So now he has three bodies in front of him, including two red jerseys. Najee Harris does a nice little juke to the left here to get a couple extra yards on this play. Now, again, it wasn't much, but it was a successful combo block by Evan Neal that should easily translate to the next level in the NFL. Now, this last thing here, Neal is just pounding number 11. This is against LSU, and people talk about, there's been some concerns about his work ethic, what's it going to be like in the NFL. I'll guarantee you, watch this clip right here, and you tell me that Evan Neal does not have a good work ethic. Non-stop on this play. Continues to go after the guy. I mean, he knows his quarterback is scrambling for space back there, but it's just a beautiful job taking down a pass rusher who has no chance. And not only does, obviously, you see there's guys chasing down the quarterback, but the other part of their offensive line kind of let them loose. And this is more of a coverage rush, you would call it right here. So Evan Neal, again, is just an outstanding offensive lineman. You could throw him at left tackle. You could throw him at right tackle. You could slide him into guard. I think he is best suited as a left tackle in the National Football League, given his size. But in the New York Giants situation, Evan Neal would be starting at right tackle because Andrew Thomas is already solidified at left, unless you moved Andrew Thomas from left to right, which really wouldn't make sense. You usually move guys from right to left, not vice versa. But that's my video and film breakdown on Evan Neal. And want to quickly shout out our sponsor, BetUS, America's #1 favorite sportsbook, where you can join below with our promo code at JOIN125, where you can get all the best live bets, get quick cash payouts, and you get a 150% sign-up bonus worth up to $2,500. That is BetUS, where the game begins. Will Evan Neal be a New York Giant? I'm not sure if he slips to number 5, but if he does, Joe Schoen better be calling on draft night. Folks, if you like what you watch, make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe button as well, ring the bell for notifications, follow us on all of our social media platforms on Instagram, Twitter, and of course, our YouTube channel, where we will continue to break down more NFL draft prospects. And folks, without further ado, let's go Big Blue.